morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday is a tradition that we have had here for years. And unfortunately, tacos haven't really been served for quite a few months since early part of October. I'll get to in a minute. But real quick, going over yesterday, really weak. Really weak over there on the Dow and the Russell. NASDAQ recovered, but still nothing that we were going into excitingly expecting anything supercalifragilistic for the start of the week. You got those massive rains over in California, people without power. They're not going to move the markets while they have an enormous amount of Americans that don't have access to be able to trade. So flat day as the day went, but again, you got a lot of, if you want to do it, it's there for you. 0 DTE SPX 4950 calls, buck and a quarter, made it up to 740, took all day long, but made it up to 740. You had a 500% trade there. And as we were saying over there in the spread room or in the alert room, we made it right. That was pretty incredible. We went right to 49.1810. The low of the day was 49.1809. Come over and you start looking at what you're talking about here for the FOMO SPX 4950 calls. Boom, boom, boom. We filled the gap on the VIX. We're looking for 49.61 above, 49.61 above, 49.61 above. Didn't get 49.61 above. Had a good shot to get into it around 3 o'clock, but nope, just couldn't make it. If 500% or any portion of into that 500% was not good enough, I promise I will try harder. So on to where we are on the SPX. Great range. 39 points. Got a 39-point dip right in the morning. 39-point bounce there into the afternoon. Absolutely fantastic range. But we didn't go anywhere. So again, with today being that it is Taco Tuesday, unfortunately, there isn't anything scheduled on the table that could really accelerate people selling $700 NVIDIA so that they could go run into plus 450 Facebook. There's nothing out there. We are not expecting anything super to take place today. The dollar, the yen, TNX, all still continuing to climb higher. They've been calling bullshit since Friday morning. And here we are trolling around because we've got a couple more days, as we said. Today at 12 o'clock, you got the Fed's Mester going to be speaking at 12. The New York Fed quarterly debt and credit report coming out at 11 could be very impactful for being considering it's Taco Tuesday. And then again at 1 o'clock, you got Fed's cash carry. Now, the bond auction that takes place at 1 o'clock is a 3-year note. It's not a little 3-month, 6-month that we've been getting like yesterday. It's a 3-year. So that will be something of interest to be taking very well aware of when we get there in the 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, cash carry, 1 o'clock, 3-year note, 12 o'clock, Fed Mester. Onward and onward. Again, data. I tell everyone, copy your data, track your data, do your spreadsheets. Having seen the minus 1% day that we got, coincidentally, it happened on the FOMC day, and then we got followed with 2 back-to-back plus 1% days. We started getting that dip yesterday, and because of the data, 49.09 being the low edge, but also being that minus 1% level, I was confident enough to go over there into the spread room and explain that 49.09 is both the safe edge. You got to go all the way back to March of 2023 when we had 2 plus 1% days and we got a minus 1% day after that. So that was the reason why, confident enough to go out there and throw that 4,900, 4,905 put credit spread. You only got $1, but hey, 25%, better than getting kicked in the balls. So nothing really screaming, hey, gotta go and get into this trade. Like I shared, the bigger, broader, wider view, detailed focus, you got probably a couple more days that you could take advantage of that. After that, that window is going to be closed. You're not going to be seeing prices at $4 and below like you are now. So I bring you on quickly to the charts here. SPX again looks like a very clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going into that high there on Friday. The dip yesterday coming right down to 49.18 perfectly. Fractional bounce right back up. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at this and say that looks like a 50 retracement. So we could play around, again, play around and look at this for what it is from yesterday. And we could say, hey, it looks as if we may get a push down to around 4,900. Right back here where all of this resistance area was at 4,900, 4,905. It looks as if. You know what? You're absolutely right. And with today being Taco Tuesday, I would not doubt that we get a push down under 4,900 today. McDonald's, we lost a good one here. Kind of one of those ones that when you do drive by one of those drive-through convenience stores, you should, pull up, buy a bottle of Old English, just pour one out because we lost a good one here with McDonald's. McDonald's, unfortunately, ate a big bag of shit off of their earnings. They blamed Israel for it, coincidentally. But it looks like a very clean ABC. Looks like a very clean ABC. Right down to the 200-day moving average as well. Bring that in here, load study set. Let's go. Moving averages, 200-day moving average. Right to the 200-day moving average. 100-day moving average, well below, but right down to it. So, yeah, I suspect there will be an opportunity that McDonald's could get a little bit of a recovery back into the 290s, and then we'll see whether or not we can jump all over Ronald McDonald's lap again and take a whole bunch of pictures like we've been doing all year. Spotify reports today. People look at this and see Spotify 230, well, 228.37. Check this out. No, that's not enough. That's a 3-year. Let me go to a 5-year. There you go. I guess I could have done it on a 3-year. My bad. The Spotify all-time highs, 387.44. And the drop into October of last year, 2022, 2 years ago, minus 80% from the all-time highs. Now bring it into where we are, and I don't care who you are, you could go over this a million different ways. This simply looks like an ABC bearish bounce going halfway back to where it started from. 228, 241, significantly perfect places that you could be looking at this and saying, yep, Spotify looks as if it may have topped. And I think I am going to get into the you are not going higher trade and watch this for a return back down to 200. We'll see what we get, but earnings are coming out later today. And over onto Apple, that's where I'll leave you with. I threw out that alert yesterday morning because I had an alarm, got triggered. I couldn't believe the number of messages that came in minutes later, literally minutes later, that they had already gotten their 30% to close the trade out. I was absolutely shocked at how quick that took place. And then you got a little bit of a bounce higher over there on Apple. Apple using the same moving averages. Let's go here, and then there you go. The drop there on Thursday after earnings, the lows on Friday, below the 200-day moving average, the 100-day, the 5-day, the 20-day, the 10-day, the 50-day. And now you've got this Friday euphoric bounce recovery as we've gone through a couple of times. And Apple is currently green for the year, above 187.17. The psychological / human decision-making process of that email that went out about Apple is, would you like to tie yourself up in Apple, or would you choose to utilize that capital, since Apple is inside of QQQ, and go and get a ticket for the big ride rather than just being tied up into Apple? So it's completely up to you. I am not sitting in front of your portfolio and your trading platform to know how much money you can allocate to each individual one. So that's why I leave it up there as a decision, because Apple is inside QQQ. It's one of the major producers of QQQ. So you could make the choice to either one. Personally, like I'm replied to everybody, same price. Go out there and get you some March. Go out there and get you some April. Have a fantastic Tuesday morning. I will leave you off with the last and final part, the Taco Tuesdays. Taco Tuesdays, they were and again, the reason why they were Taco Tuesdays, we would get 2, 3, 4, 5, 700% intraday trades on SPX, on puts, every Tuesday. And then all of a sudden in October, it all stopped. It just stopped. January 2, red day, tight range, 31 points. January 16th, again, red day, tight range, 35 points. And then you had last week on January 30th, the Tuesday, the 14.82 range. So, yeah, tacos used to be a tradition. And unfortunately, the stock market just doesn't like Mexican food anymore. So we'll see what we get. But anyway, Spotify, we will follow that after they report their earnings. Today, SPX, fractionally lower low, test at 49.18. No real gasoline in the engine right now. No acceleration. So I'll see you guys in the chat room.